We're going to jump back into pitching rule 6, where it seems like we spent a lot of this year on. I posed this question to you to launch us in. Can a pitcher legally feint or throw to an unoccupied base from the rubber? And the answer to this question is yes, but not in all situations. There are certain situations where he can do this, and there are certain situations where he cannot do this. So let's go and take a look, and you need your rule book. That's where we are, Rule 624. This is on page 44. Hopefully you've kind of got this page worn out a little bit by this season, because we've been talking about it so much. This is in the fraction in the section where it says infractions by the pitcher, and it says a balk if the pitcher with runners on base, and we have to talk about the first one first. Letter A, any feinting towards the batter or first base. So we know if they feint towards first base, meaning they do not step off and they fake throw it, or they just spin throw towards first base and they do not throw the ball. If they feint towards first base, that is a balk. Likewise, if they feint towards home, meaning they step towards the plate without actually throwing the baseball, that's also a balk. That's really important to notice that. First and home, you cannot feint to, but second and third, you can feint to. So now we're kind of leading you into the next thing, okay? Here's the big part where we're going to spend some time in, so let's just read it word for word. It's a balk if the pitcher with runners on base fails to step with the non-pivot foot directly towards a base that is either occupied or unoccupied, when throwing or feinting there in an attempt to put out or drive back a runner, semicolon. Or throwing or feinting to an unoccupied base when it is not an attempt to put out or drive back a runner. So let's talk about this in the two parts, kind of, let's take the first half, okay? So remember, we're talking about it is a balk if they fail to step with a non-pivot foot directly towards a base, either unoccupied or occupied. That's the important thing. When throwing or feinting there in an attempt to put out a run or drive back a runner. So if we have a runner leaning off of first base and he jumps and throws it to first base, we're good there. If we have a runner at first base who takes off stealing and the pitcher jumps and spins to second base, well, he is throwing to an unoccupied base and it is an attempt to put out or drive back the runner. So we're also good there in that situation, okay? So it's really important to know that if the runner is moving, we have more freedom of what the pitcher can do. The second half of this, let's talk about that one, is throwing or feinting to an unoccupied base when it is not an attempt to put out or drive back a runner. Okay, so now this is the one that, say we have just a runner at first base and the pitcher does a little step over move. We call it the inside move. Knee goes up and crosses the rubber and goes back to second base. He's feinting a throw to second base in that situation, even though there's no, the runner's not moving. He's not trying to drive back a run or anything. So we're going to call that a balk. Another one that I've seen in the past is that a right-handed pitcher comes set, R1 takes off going to second base, and the pitcher picks his knee up, but instead of going home, he steps towards third base and feints towards third base. Third base is unoccupied. He's not making an attempt on a runner at third base, so that would be a balk as well. We've seen a couple plays on this come around the internet this week, and so that's why I want to talk through these things. So I got a couple situations for us, and we're going to talk through these and see how they relate to this rule. So situation one, pitcher is in the set position, either pitcher, it doesn't matter, a right-handed or left-handed pitcher. R1, meaning the runner at first base, begins to steal prior to the delivery of the pitch. The pitcher spins and throws to second base to drive back the runner. This one is legal. The pitcher is making a play on this runner who's moving. He's technically throwing to an unoccupied base. That is correct, an unoccupied base, but it is to either drive back or make a play on the runner. This is going to be perfectly legal. I'm just going to warn you, you're going to get a lot of flack from this, but slow down, think through the rule. This is legal. Second situation. Right-handed pitchers in the set position. Imagine in your brain what a right-handed pitcher looks like in the set position. He comes set. R1, runner at first, begins to steal prior to the delivery of the pitch. The pitcher picks up his knee and steps towards third base and fakes the throw, then turns to second base to make a play on the runner. as I said before, this is going to be a balk. He is not making a play on the runner. He is stepping and feinting towards an unoccupied base, and it is not to drive back a runner. It is not to make a play on the runner. So this is going to be a balk. You're going to call time. That's a balk, and then R1 gets to advance. Next situation, left-handed pitcher is in the set position. So take a second. Imagine what a left-handed pitcher looks like. Come set, runner at first base begins to steal prior to the delivery of the pitch. Pitcher picks up his knee and steps towards first base and fakes a throw. Then he turns to second base to make a play on the runner. This one's going to be a balk. And it is going to be a balk because of letter A of this rule that we talked about is there are two bases that you cannot feint a throw to, and that is first and home. You can feint a throw to second and third. Those are legal, but you cannot feint a throw to first or home. So since he feinted a throw to first base, as soon as he doesn't throw the baseball to first base, we've got to kill this. Time. That's a balk. You second base and award runners from that. This one will catch you off guard if you're not really truly into the thought of process of that a left-handed pitcher cannot feint to first base. Yes. And one more, a right-handed pitcher is in the set position. Runner at second base now. Runner at second base begins to steal prior to the delivery of the pitch. The pitcher picks up his knee and steps towards third base and fakes a throw. Then he runs directly at the runner, driving him back to second base. This is a legal play. Again, he can feint to third base as long as he is making a play or attempting to drive back a runner. And he is doing exactly that. The runner is stealing. He picks his knee up, steps directly towards third base, fakes the throw, and now he's caught the runner in there. He is doing that with the entire purpose to make a play on that runner or to drive him back to second base. So this is going to be legal. Again, and we're going to have some opportunities for effective communication with coaches when we do not call this a balk, because so many people expect this to be a balk. They have this rule wrong. But take your time, think through this play, have great timing as an umpire, plate umpire, base umpire, really think through what is happening. He is feinting to an unoccupied base to make a play on a runner, to drive back the runner going to second base. This is legal. We need to make sure that we get this one right.